Hey, my name is John, but people on the internet call me Narwhal, and I somehow have never seen a superhero movie in my life until a couple weeks ago when I started this challenge. I am currently on day 15 of watching a new superhero movie every single day, and today we have X-Men 3: The Last Stand. Now, although I didn't love this movie, what I do really love about this whole franchise that I briefly mentioned last episode is the themes of being who you are, being yourself, taking pride in that, not letting anyone tell you who you are or who you should be, and particularly parents and the perspective of parents not accepting their kids because the kids didn't turn out how they hoped or they expected. And that was probably a very powerful message when the movie first came out, but I think now in 2021, the way things have changed over the last 10, 15 years, I think this is even more powerful now. I don't even know if it was the director's intentions to make this kind of social commentary, but it definitely felt like it, and I think it works. It's a beautiful story of people who are trying to defend who they are and continue to live their life, and I think that in and of itself is a message that should continue to spread. So for that reason, I think the franchise is great. It's not the best movie in the world, but it's the third in a trilogy, and I've noticed that the third movies of these superhero franchises generally don't go over very well. So the fact that this one was okay is a big plus. Blade. Batman Forever. Superman 3. The human parents and government in this movie quite literally treat the mutants like they have a disease, which is a sad parallel to today because there's a lot of people that treat people of different races, people of different sexual orientation, people of different religious backgrounds like they have a disease, and it's crazy to me that this is something people still have such a hard time getting over in the world, but I'm glad that movies like this are touching on it. So I know you're not supposed to root for the villains generally, but I have to say Mystique is by far my favorite character in this franchise. I just think she's so unique and so fun. Every time she's on the screen, she's just a fucking savage, and I'm like weirdly attracted to her, not because the whole like body paint thing to like sexualize her and make her this like blue sexy thing in the movies, not that. It's just like the way she moves and the way she talks, and I don't know, you know what I mean? It's just like kind of scary. Like I'm attracted to her, but I'm scared of her, you know what I'm saying? You hook up with her, but you're like actually terrified for your life, but for that exact reason is the reason that you enjoy it so much in the first place. I don't know if that made sense or if my English made any sense there either, but anyway, I love learning about Jean Grey and Phoenix and what their different traits are and what this means for Jean Grey as a person now that Phoenix is back. I just think it was just really interesting to me, and I think that the actress who played Jean Grey absolutely killed it. I'm always impressed when an actor has a role where they have multiple different personalities, or for whatever reason they have to drastically change who they are from one scene to the next, and I've always thought that's got to be so fun for an actor to get to do that. It's probably very challenging, but it's probably super fun. I also just wanted to compliment the editing because usually I don't notice the editing, and generally speaking, from what I've heard, a rule is like if you notice the editing at all, it means it's bad. Like editing, generally speaking, should be invisible. Like you shouldn't really notice the editing, because if you do, that means it's probably bad, unless you're watching like an Edgar Wright movie where the editing is intentionally over the top and distracting because that's part of the art style. It helps tell the story, but there was one particular scene that stood out to me in this movie as having good editing, and it was after finding out that the humans are trying to develop this cure for being a mutant. Storm says something along the lines of, who could possibly want this cure? Like why would any mutant want to be cured from this? And then it immediately cuts to Rogue, who's struggling with her identity because she can't touch anyone she loves. Well, she can't touch anyone, but particularly the people she loves. And that was such a good editing choice. They very easily could have cut to the wrong superhero for that scenario, or they could have cut over to Magneto or something, but they cut to Rogue, who is the perfect example of that. And the writing was just so good because from Storm's perspective, I totally get it. Like, why would any mutant want that? It seems dumb. Like, they are who they are for a reason. But Rogue is in such a unique and difficult situation that she actually kind of does want to be quote unquote cured from this, because then she can actually live a life and like love people the way everyone else does. And maybe that isn't as deep as I think, but it just felt like good editing, and I don't know. I like that scene is basically what I'm trying to say. And near the end, there was actually the first scene out of all the superhero movies that I've watched so far that pierced through my heart. And it was when Mystique got shot with like one of the darts basically that cures her of being a mutant and turned her back into a human. And Magneto walks up to her and he looks at her on the ground suffering, and he says, "I'm sorry, dear, you're not one of us anymore. You evil bitch. Imagine like your father or just somebody that you have been with from day one. You've been their go-to person. And then just like that, he turns on you. You cold-hearted bitch. Fuck you, Magneto. I don't know. I probably should have been happy, but I just like Mystique too much and I think she's dope. So, but that's all I really have to say about the first X-Men franchise. Like I said, it didn't blow me away. I probably won't be revisiting it for a while. I'll probably only rewatch any of these movies if I'm with friends in a group setting, but I can see why they're respected, but I also can definitely see why a lot of people say that the X-Men is worse than the MCU, and I know that that's a hot topic. Some people say they're the best movies ever, but just judging from what I've seen so far, they didn't seem like the best thing in the whole world is what I'm saying. So if you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like, comment down below letting me know what you thought of the X-Men franchise. A lot of people seem to be confused and thought that I was like skipping all the rest of the X-Men movies, which is not the case. I'm going to watch them, but since I'm doing it by franchise and by release date, I'm gonna get to the newer X-Men movies later. Next up is Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. I've heard a lot of really good things. I'm excited for that. So if you're new around here, be sure to subscribe so you get to see every single video. And if you like me and you want to see more content, check out my podcast called Peak to Middle School. It's available on every platform as well as having full video versions on YouTube. It's a comedy show with me and my buddy Kyle. It's a lot of fun and I honestly think the show is really underrated. So go check it out. With that being said, I'm gonna go watch Spider-Man and hopefully I don't hate it. Peace.